Hey guys, Monkey here, and I'm here today to review Transformers Studio Series 86 Springer. This figure has been one I've had in my collection for, I believe, a year now, or at least close to a year, maybe a few years now. I pre-ordered him, Bumblebee, and Steeljaw along the same time I ordered United Sandstorm, and that was just a few weeks after he first came out too. So around that time. So yeah. But yeah, this is 86 Springer. He is a triple changer, and he rules. He's honestly a wonderful figure. Feels great to the hand, and has quite a few unique or newer additions to. Had to adjust the camera. Has quite a few new additions to the figure, with the entire upper body being a new mold. We will go over that once we get to that, but that's all you need to know for now. 86 Springer is probably one of my favorite characters from the 86 film, not just with the more like 90s, 80s action hero voice, but with just how he is as a character. He's goofy, he's funny, he's heroic, he's everything you expect from a stereotypical hero, which is really cool. I like that. I really do. So yeah, with that being said, let's go into the detail. 86 Springer is, I think I already mentioned this, he's a triple changer, which is why he's in his helicopter mode. And Springer's helicopter mode is, or chopper mode, we'll just say that. It's less of a mouthful than helicopter, Springer's chopper mode is, well, a chopper. It's well compressed, it's swooshable, and most importantly, propeller spins beautifully. Honestly, it's wonderful. And I love that. Because the whole pin mechanism here is very much looser. It spins much easier than Siege/Wreck and Rule Springer does. And some of you may know, I owned the Wreck and Rule collection. Every figure from it. I think I have a few of my older. I think I reviewed all those figures. And as some of you know, those guys were pretty hard to beat. More specifically, Springer. As Springer was probably one of the best molds out of all those guys, with I think the exception of maybe Leadfoot and Impactor. Those two bounced him off pretty well. Twin Twist was a Time's Return reissue in Diaclone colors, which I really liked. I regret selling him off. That figure was probably the best feeling out of all of them. Then Bulkhead was, he came pretty chipped. He had some stress marks already in robot mode, which really sucked. I hated that, honestly. I really did. So yeah. But I'm not here to talk about Wreck and Rule. Those figures are long gone now. Everything to them's gone. I kind of regret it, but had to happen. Had to make space on the shelves. As you can see, right there where Ironhide, Swoop, and Sludge are, that whole spot over there, that's where the Wreck and Rule figures resided, while on that side is where all the 86 figures resided. Both the expansion of the Leaders and Magnus, then Prime, had to make all that space. And if you're wondering why there's a big gap, I have a bag just full of these guys. That bag's full of the figures I haven't reviewed yet, which means all the figures you see up here, down there, and all the figures you can't see behind me right now, I've reviewed. Meaning that everything in this bag is all I got. Hi, Hot Rod. But yeah, everything in this bag is all I have left to review. So yeah, with that all being said, let's get back to Springer. As I doubt you guys cared about, what's latest for Monkey News? But yeah, back to Springer's chopper mode. Springer's chopper mode is well comprised, well compact. As I mentioned, swooshes well, blades spin good, and a lot of the parts just store pretty well. Underside kibble management is pretty nice. As sorry, my little brother opened the door. He needed to ask me about his tablet. Now, back to the figure. I forgot what I was saying. Oh, right, the underside. The underside's kibble management is pretty well, actually. The head tucks in pretty nicely, so you don't get to see Springer's face underneath as easily. The arms are okay, you know. The hands end up where they belong. The thighs are pretty obvious too. But everything else blends in pretty well. You know, everything fits well and secure, except for this. Some other collectors have suffered the same issue, with one of Springer's arm panels being much looser than the other. This one stays. That's not going anywhere. This one, oh, excuse me, propeller. It's loose. Oh, hey, it stays there though. But yeah. The underside is well comprised. It's well compacted. Sits well. So yeah. The sculpting on the cockpit and just overall front section of the chopper is smooth. It's honestly really smooth, actually. I love how this feels. With some parts being brought back from Siege, being these panels, I believe, this clear plastic piece, and some of these panels, and I believe the forearm sections, which we will get into in robot mode. I'll talk about that more when we get there. The new parts, though, are this back panel right here. Oh, did not mean to shake the stand. Sorry about that. It's much smoother, quite a bit of greebling in there, with some more rigid detail in there, I believe. Yep, some more there. And some exhaust, or not exhaust, but a thruster detail too. Which is how I'm assuming he can get up, or like off the ground, and what's helping him propel himself forward. With the blades, obviously, or the blades is what brings him up. The thruster is what, you know? But back to some more of the alt mode. A lot of this section here is exactly from Siege, which isn't bad at all. The Siege figure actually did a wonderful job for its transformation. So I have no complaints about that at all. And honestly, it blends in pretty well with 86. The panels are already smooth as is. They're already just really nice. The wheels are nice too, actually. And with him turning into a car and stuff, he rolls just as fine as ever. He almost fell off the table. So yeah, with that being said, we're going to do size comparisons. With our first one being, if I can grab him, there you go, Deluxe Class 86 Bumblebee. I just realized how close the camera was to, or how far out the camera was. But yeah, 86 Bumblebee compared to 86 Springer. Quite a difference in size there. Voyager Class. Whew. Sorry, had to burp there for a second. Voyager Class Legacy Blaster, as the 86 Blaster is quite the pain to find. Though I heard they're getting a reissue of that figure out, which is going to be sweet. Though that also means I'm going to have to try and get the MT more than meets the eye Perceptor, as I believe he's part of the same collection as that, what was his name, Overload reissue and Soundwave reissue. He's part of that same brand, I believe. So yeah. But yeah, I have to get my hands on that Perceptor because it's a new mold of 86 down there, and it includes an 86 Ramhorn and Ratbat. It's really cool. Plus, I need to get 86 Blaster to fill in that shelf, as I'm slowly but surely starting to clear off this shelf. You know, I plan on selling. I'm not sure what I should sell. I do plan on selling stuff off soon, though. Not sure what, though. All these figures still bring me joy. I kind of sold off all the figures that I didn't really want or like too much. So, yeah. Ooh, sorry. I had to clear my nose there. But, yeah. 86... Legacy Blaster compared to Leader Class 86 Springer. Let's see. Deluxe Class Bone Crusher compared to 86 Springer. Filling in that gap pretty well. Sorry, just gotta grab all the guys off the table. Let's see, who's next? Leader Class Grimlock, as he's the only proper Leader Class figure I have on the shelf right now, or right here. The rest of the Dinobots are down there, except for Snarl. Still trying to get him. Real pain on that figure, actually. People are charging like 90 to 200. Amazon's just charging, I think, $98 for him right now, so I might go for that soon. We got Commander Class Optimus Prime without his trailer. As I think some of you know this, I don't usually count the trailers in size comparisons. Now, if they're like, if it's, for example, if it's Optimus Prime's review standalone, I'll count that as part of the size comparison. But for example, if Prime's making an appearance in another video, it's just going to be the cab. Now, Ultra Magnus, on the other hand, this becomes a lot of the robot mode, so I can't use that excuse on him. So yeah, as you can see, Magnus is quite a bit bigger. So yeah, with that being said, time to get into... Oh, sorry, Grimlock, didn't mean to slap you in the face, my little boy. Time to get into the transformation. First step, pull off the propeller and collapse that into our sword. You know, shoo, 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 jab. Next step, remove whatever other accessories you've had on Springer. For example, these, I like to plug them on as side artillery. So yeah, first step you want to do is pull up on this back piece right here and bring it forward. Untab the sides as so, or like so. Unpeg the legs, flip down the feet, and collapse the rest of the leg assembly. Just like so. So your legs can look like this. Then what you want to do is grab this whole section here, pull up, and shift forward. And when you do that, you want to bring it down and put a little pressure on until you hear or feel a click, like that. Then you want to bring this assembly upward, or wait, I think I'm doing this right. Give me just a moment. Yeah, you want to move the arms upward just a little bit. Am I doing this right? No. Leave the chest assembly down. Do not listen to me on the chest assembly. I'm a moron. What you want to do is move the arms up, and then move up the hips. Then rotate the thighs around, like so. And what you want to do is come back to the top, connect the thighs, then untab the knees, like so, so you can rotate the whole assembly once again. Then you want to try and get these heels underneath this panel, right here. Just like so. Get it under, just like that. And then what you want to do is collapse this assembly like that. Then the next thing you want to do is pull up these panels or pull down the arms, collapse that, and fold in the fin, I believe is what it is, the fin to the chopper. Same thing on the other side, push in and collapse. Then what you want to do is shift the arm assembly forward, like so. Make sure that this piece or this chunk of material is forward above that. Just like that. Then angle this upward by 1 and that by 1. And there you go. Whew, sorry. There you go. We now have 86 Springer in his kick-ass car mode. Or just car mode. Personal preference, you know. But yeah. First thing you want to do when it comes to this is bring out one of his accessories. This piece. As his car mode was actually designed to have this slot into. With this tab and his handle being able to fit in there perfectly. Granted, you could have this on any other spot as well, But the instructions specifically mention... Oh, ooh, not feeling too good. Sorry. The instructions specifically mentioned you being able to attach the gun right here, which is honestly pretty awesome. I like that. I like that the designers thought to, oh hey, why don't we put that there as well? We already have a hole, might as well just cut out some more material. Probably saves a little bit on money too. So yeah, bam. Just like so. Pull that off for now. We'll go over his accessories once we get to his accessories. Oh, no! Didn't want to drop the sword. Thank God it didn't. We'll mention I think it's called the neutrino bomb. I think. Give me a minute. I'm going to look this up. It's going to drive me nuts if I don't. Okay, so I looked it up. Apparently there's just not a name for this thing. So yeah, though I'm relying off of AI overview, which I don't usually trust. So yeah, I guess that's all I'm going off of just for now. I'll do some more research into that on my own time. But yeah, back to the car mode. Car mode is actually really compact. Like, this thing feels like a brick. Oh, I can shake this. Oh. Okay, don't shake it by the legs. You shake it by the legs, that whole assembly. But if you hold it in the middle, nothing untabs. Stays in nicely. What if I hold it from here? Yep. Oh, no, never mind. I didn't even hear that untab. Dang. Very silent tab. That or I just didn't do it right. Well, no, I did it right. Okay. The other arm don't do that. I say it takes a lot more force to tab the other arm. It's not like I'm gonna be, football. Yeah, it's not gonna. I'm gonna be throwing him around and stuff. The worst thing he's gonna go through is some light play and maybe just staying in the tub for a while. Which, if some of you don't know, I think I mentioned this to a few friends of mine already. The plan for this is I'm going to put it all away for a little while I start working more on school and stuff. So if there's like a sudden pause, like a long pause between videos, that would be why. There's just a lot of stuff relating to school and me trying to find a job and stuff. So yeah. If there's a much longer pause than the usual month to a week that you guys usually get, that's most likely why. I apologize. Just want to say that now. I really do apologize. So yeah, back to the figure though. I know some of you don't really care about upload schedules. So yeah, just want to say that now though, before I forget. Because I will. I always forget something. So yeah, back to Springer though. As you can see, the cockpit to the chopper has formed the cockpit of the car mode, which honestly makes sense, Pretty much everything here is from the chopper mode. There's not much to say on detail-wise, besides where everything ended up. The lower shoulders that formed the sides of the chopper have moved forward to make this uniquely shaped front grille, or I guess just like battle ram, So yeah, that's there. I don't really know what to say. The tires on Springer though look really nice actually. The pinned ones roll pretty well. They rolled better when I first got them out of box, I won't lie. There you go. That one rolls well. And the ones that aren't pinned roll pretty well too. The underside of the alt mode looks nice. Looks pretty similar to Chopper. A lot of the stuff ends up in the same space. Downside, you can see the thigh, but I guess it works well for the hand. If you just have like a direct look like that, it's not going to look too weird. From another angle though, it might look a little odd, but like from an angle like this, or straight on, it don't look too bad. So yeah, with that being said, we'll get back into size comparisons. Starting with Deluxe Class Bumblebee, Deluxe Class Bone Crusher, And let's grab blaster, Voyager class blaster, Leader class Grimlock, Commander class Optimus Prime, and finally, Commander class Ultra Magnus, which might add is huge compared to Optimus Prime without his trailer. These two fit like perfectly in the space. I think they just have a little bit of a gap here, but they fit almost perfectly within the limit of Magnus cab to trailer. And this is hit with Magnus extended, by the way. You know, it's not collapsed Magnus, it's extended Magnus. Oh, why am I pulling Springer off? This isn't Magnus's video. Alrighty. Now, we're going into the fun part. The transformation. So yes, let's get into that. First thing you want to do, pull up this, have it at an angle, and rotate this down and tab in. Straighten out the feet, untab the sides, fold in the fin, just like that. Fold in the back fin from the car mode as well, just like that. Then flip back down the feet. What you want to do is kind of untab that just a little bit, bend the leg down, then that should untab without risk of stressing the plastic on these tabs here and here. As I did that as when I tried pulling them apart when I first got them out, it put quite a bit of stress on these tabs. So for future reference, if you're planning on getting this figure or you just got them, let this piece untab just a little bit so you can kind of just rotate and untab there. Makes your life a whole bunch easier without the risk of stressing the part out. Next thing you want to do, collapse this piece, pull the arms up and out just like so. Bring these panels out slightly, pull up the torso section, and this is where you want to do the click thing that I mentioned earlier. Next thing you want to do is pull down this section right here, like so. Pull up the chest, flip out the head, collapse everything, let these panels go into the side, and these two tabs right here and here will go into the two slots right here and here. Next thing you want to do, make sure the slot in Springer's neck goes into this tab right here to help lock everything in the torso in. Next step you want to do, bring this assembly up. The tab is right here, will go into the slot right there, just like that. Next thing you want to do, untab there and pull up just a little bit. If you haven't modified your Springer, the shoulders or the shoulder panel here should stay like this, but since I did modify mine, by that I just mean remove the tab, you can now have the more straight look, like that. Same thing goes for the other side, like so, and there you go. 86 Springer in robot mode. Now I gotta go ahead and transform the other guys. After that, I'll do size comparisons, and we'll get this video finished for you guys. See you all in a little bit. Alright, got all the guys transformed. Got distracted watching a YouTube video. I watch YouTube videos while I transform the guys off camera. So yeah. Sorry about that. You guys probably did not need to know that. For you, it was probably just a second. But yeah. So yeah, let's Oh right, accessories. We'll go over those first. So, the first accessory we saw was Springer's large sword, or great sword. Personal preference. But yeah, I like to call this the great sword. This was the sword that was used for Springer's propeller. Obviously, you know, has the spinning peg, has the pins and hinges to allow it to untab and everything. Looks as lovely as ever. The next accessories you guys saw were the Siege Springer blasters. These are casted in the same plastic that Springer's calves are. using that same color. These blasters are just a throwback, or not a throwback, but were brought back from the Siege / Wreck and Roll Springer, which, as you can see, share all the same sculpt work, the same detail, and overall design. So yeah, nothing wrong with that though. Can't go wrong with something that pretty much ruled already. It was a great weapon to come out with. The third weapon I went over briefly was Springer's main gun. This gun is honestly beautifully sculpted. I love the paint, or the color that they chose. It's molded in black plastic. The plastic feels good. It feels a lot more durable than, or it feels like a different material of plastic compared to the rest of Springer, you know? Like, when I'm feeling around the material that they use for this particular blaster, it feels like a different type of plastic compared to this one. You know, this one feels a little more smooth, while this one feels slightly more rough, I guess. So yeah, the sculpt work, the vent detailing, the panel lining, and everything on this blaster is beautiful, though. The one downside about it, though, is the fact that when you give it to him, that's as far as you get with his articulation. While if you give Springer, let's say, one of the smaller guns, or combine them together and get a big gun, you can get a much deeper elbow bend out of that. We'll go over more about the articulation when we get to that, though. So yeah, next accessory we have is the bomb, or the torpedo that Springer used to launch at Devastator. Or at least I think that's what happened in the film. I haven't watched the 86 film in a little while, so I can't exactly remember perfectly, but yeah. I believe this was what they used to launch at Devastator's chest to slow him down for a little bit. So yeah, the sculpt work on this is lovely. The vent detailing in there is nice, with a 5mm port to insert a blast effect of your choice into. All my blast effects are put away in a little baggie, so I can't do that for you guys right now. But yeah. Our next accessory is the proper sword. The one that you see in the film. The one that they use for the figure's helicopter mode is supposed to be this. As you can see, that would not have been possible. So instead they made two different weapons, or two different swords. With this one being beautifully sculpted, by the way. I love how this looks. Along with the just silver paint on here too. Very nice. The sheen is beautiful. Sculpt work here, just all over it is lovely. I love what they've done on the hilt. It looks beautiful. And the handle is nice. Honestly, it really is. You could definitely get Springer into some amazing sword poses. Now, let's get him posed up. See what we can do there. Okay, he's kind of looking into his shoulder. Let's see. I wish he could look up a little bit more, I won't lie. I think that's my one main issue with Springer. He can't look up enough to get some good dynamic sword poses. Oh, and he doesn't have sword wrists. Some of you might be wondering, oh, what's sword wrists? It's when your wrist does this. You know? Or actually... I have a proper example to show you. So, for example, this would be a proper sword wrist, you know? Grab your sword. I am holding this handle too far forward. You grab your sword, and there you go. You know? That's a sword wrist. So yeah. That's what you kind of want out of a Transformer that comes with a sword or any sort of melee weapon. I'd love to get that type of wrist articulation out of a figure. Like, dang. I need to get a better stable stand for this. For example, Wheeljack. He wasn't designed to have sword-wielding wrists. All you have to do is pop this panel off. Give him... I just realized the phone's still on the table. That came off. Alrighty. Now, like I said, you just do this. And... oh, no, I can't do it with Wheeljack. Oh, it's a little too big to go down. Oh, wait, no, never mind. Just gotta push it down a little bit. See, kind of like that. I imagine Wheeljack just saying, "On God, you rapscallion." I doubt Wheeljack would ever say rapscallion, but, you know. A man can dream. Let's get that panel back on. There you go. And I'll put you down here for now. Alright. Now to the final accessory. After I readjust the camera. There you go. Our final accessory. Springer's iconic hammer. No one really knows. I don't really know why we have the hammer. It's beautiful. I love it. The sculpt work is amazing. Like, there's chips and notches inside this hammer that make it seem like it's been through battle. Like like this hammer looks like it's been through it. And I love it. I love it. I love the sculpt work, but I feel like this was a Wreck and Rule Springer thing and not an 86 Springer thing. I think they only added this to fill out the leader price, because either way, I know for a fact it would have been charged at a leader class price point. But I believe they only added this so they can help fill that price out a lot more, so it doesn't feel like as much of a scam to people. You know, a lot of people will clown on the hammer and everything, but I'm happy we at least got something else out of it besides all of those. Because I'd rather have a hammer than no hammer. It's a weird inclusion, yeah, but I'd rather take more than less out of $50, you know? But those accessories being talked about, let's get that out of the way. Go into Springer and his sculpt work. Or I guess more accurate, or let's go into what's new and what's not, actually. So, everything that's not new includes the entire shin and just knee assembly here. I believe these thigh pieces here are the old assembly. The forearms here are old assembly. But the elbow connection is a new assembly there. The old, or from the old assembly, or old parts from the figure, is this back piece right here. These tires, everything inside this section here. And that's about it. Everything else here is brand new. People said this was not enough of a retool to warrant $50. But considering that that's all that's from the original figure, I'd say this was worth the money. Yeah, it shares similar, if not the exact same engineering, but it has all this extra, or it has some of the extra stuff to fill out the price, but it has all this new budget go into making everything else new. We have new thighs, new hands, new elbow and arm assemblies. We have an entire new torso section, minus this piece right here. Like, what's not to like about that? They've filled out the price here. They've put everything they could into this, and it excels at it. You know, we have all these new parts, and it just makes them more accurate to the animation model. Makes it more G1, as we'd say. You know, these panels are smoother, they're bigger, there's a lot more to it. Like the new hands, they open. We have opening hands. And actually, I just realized something. This forearm is technically a new mold, because this piece isn't a new mold, but if you flip the forearm around, flip the hand around, and open up the panel, you get the little wrist-mounted rocket thing. So technically this does make it a new mold compared to the original, which this side's just completely the original. This side has slight retooling on this forearm. So technically there's actually more retooled parts than I thought there was. But there's more parts being here. There's more parts here retooled than there are reused when it comes to just looks, you know? which is wonderful. That's what people want out of a figure that's going to be same engineering but charged more. People want it to be at least either similar, if not at least heavy retool. And this is heavy retool. It's the same figure, yes, which is why it uses a lot of the same attributes of Siege, but it's a heavy retool here. Some changes are a lot minor than others, but this is, as I've said before, a heavy retool. People don't give it that credit. People clown on it for being, oh, it's just Siege, but more pricey. But it's not. There is a lot more here than a lot of people say there is, than a lot of people give it credit for. This is genuinely a heavy retool. I feel it's worth the money. It feels great. This figure is solid. The worst you get is a little bit of leg jiggle. Shake it back and forth. Yeah, the legs will move just a little bit, but they're going to hold that position. You know? They're going to hold that. The figure feels good. Nothing feels like it's going to come off, you know? Everything here is solid, proper, and fits well. I have no problems with this figure besides... Oh, I forgot to flip the handle back. I have no problems with this figure at all. The only problem I have is this is loose. That's it, though. Everything else on this guy feels wonderful. Well, with that all being said, let's go into articulation, and then finally, size comparison. And that will be it. So, first thing I want to go to is, there's a ball joint at the head. Oh, wait, no. No, we don't want to do that just yet. We have to go over some other details, like the head. The head's beautiful. The nose is a little, kinda, but besides that, it is wonderful. The face looks beautiful. The chest sculpt work here is lovely. I love the shade of green they picked. The more the more pastel yellow that they went with here. It's the yellow you see around Easter, that's what I'm trying to say. That shade of yellow that they use here is lovely. I honestly love how it looks. It looks great. I don't think I don't think the paint's going to chip as easily as it did on, for example, Wreck and Rule Springer. You know? I have confidence that this this paint isn't going to chip like Wreck and Rule's does. Which I feel bad for the guy that bought my Wreck and Rule Springer. Because, yeah, I showed it in the pictures, but I feel bad for him either way because of the fact that, like, Wreck and Rule Springer's whole yellow section down here chipped. It was chipped away, which really sucks considering that figure, yeah, $30, the Voyager price point. But it sucks because it's part of the Amazon exclusive Wreck and Rule collection line, you know? I feel bad about that. I feel kind of scummy. Though I am excited to see if I can get my hands on those new Wreck and Rule packs. I'm still waiting for Whirl. How did I forget Whirl? I love that guy. I'm still waiting for a new Whirl out of that line. Because, you know, he is a wrecker. I'd be down to get a Whirl. I used to have theories all about how the deluxe figures, being Impactor and Leadfoot, came with retools of Ractonite and what was the other guy's name? The T-Rex fossil, Paleotrex. I really enjoyed that. So my theory was that Vortex would be a deluxe class figure coming with Wing Finger to fill out that, or not Wing Finger, but a retool of Wing Finger to fill out that whole line there of retools of the two other dino fossilizers that are a retool of Vertebrake, and we have Whirl as a Voyager instead. You know, I was bored. I had ideas. They're stupid ideas, but ideas nevertheless. So yeah, with that being said, now with what I wanted to say over, now we can go into articulation. Heads on a ball joint, can look up that far, down that far, side to side, and 360 rotation. Arms are on a mushroom peg, so slightly tilt that up. Oh no, never mind, you can't get full 360. It collides there. Arms can go up that far, down that far, and out that far. I believe if you move this a little bit more, you can probably get a little more out of that, but then that looks ugly. So yeah. Shoulder pylons, stacks, whatever you want to call them, are on a swivel. It would only go about this far if you didn't shear the peg, but if you did, it goes that far. Then obviously that far back. There's a 360 rotation at the elbow. Elbow bend is just a little bit past 90. There's a proper wrist. Oh, wrists are a little tight on my finger, but I don't mind. There's a 360 rotation at the wrist. Hands open up as beautifully as ever. Waist rotation, no 360, but as far as you would necessarily need. Legs can go back that far, up that far, and out that far. 360 rotation at the thigh. Deep knee bend, which I love. I love deep knee bends. Really puts into perspective how well this figure is. An absolutely killer ankle pivot. And foot bend, or toe bend. Or, no, not toe, whole foot bend there. But yeah, with that all being said, we finally get to the last part of this video. Size comparisons. We'll start with our biggest. Commander Magnus. As you can see, absolute giant. Next, Leader Class Grimlock. Commander Optimus. Voyager Legacy Blaster. Deluxe Class Bone Crusher. And finally, Deluxe Class Bumblebee. And that's pretty much it. My final thoughts on the figure: get them. If you find a good deal, get it. If you don't find a good deal but find it for retail, you can be as iffy as you want, but it's still a good figure. I'll say he's worth it for me. He was worth retail for me, and he's worth every penny I would still spend on him now. If he's $5 more, I'd still spend the money. If he's 10, a little debatable, but I'd be more willing to it. But yeah, with that all being said, thank you all for watching. I apologize for the long video. It hasn't been too long since the last video, but I'm still getting my groove back, you know? But yeah, see you all next time. Thank you for watching. Love you guys, and goodbye.